Hi there, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to read the current energies and hopefully I'll have enough daylight here, but I really feel to read today. I'm in a really altered space and I've been this way the last 4 days. So I know that there's really big changing energy going on right now based on how I feel. The last time I felt this way was a few weeks ago, and it was literally just a few hours, like where the energy just like kind of came through and then left. And now it's been 4 days, and so I feel, yeah, I feel really, really altered, like I said, but almost like I'm existing on like a bunch of different levels, and I'm not all here. So it's very interesting to me. So I want to see what comes through the cards. I have a feeling that I'm gonna be in a different place tomorrow, which is why I want to do this today because I'm just curious what it will be like to read when I'm in this space. Yeah, and so anyway, okay, so I'm just gonna dive in and go to the cards and see what comes through that way. I could like ramble on, but I just I think I need a little bit of a framework in this space that I'm in. So we'll see. Okay, what's an overall energy for right now? So we get 3 cards. Okay, Stag Spirit, take the lead. 58. Wow. Antelope Spirit, life is speeding up. Yes. Okay, this is cool. And oh my gosh, Grasshopper Spirit, take a leap of faith. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm feeling from this energy. Is there like this kind of crossover energy where we literally are leaping, we're leaping, and what I've been feeling personally is like again, like all this stuff on different levels. So I think it's just probably the different energy bodies, but like on an emotional level, you know, I'll have sort of like a memory or an energy come up, and then I'll just have all this grief. And it's not grief like I'm longing for that time of my life, because you know what, I'm not longing for anything of my past, but it literally feels to me like a cellular clearing, like everything from the past is just being washed, like washed, wiped away. And there is a death and a grief in that, because it's almost like the release of our entire past, like our entire way of being, our entire way of existing. So taking a leap of faith, life is speeding up. It's like there's so much going on at once where you can't even track it. That's how I feel. Like I'm like, I don't know where I am. You know, I don't know what's going on. Like everything's just kind of flowing through me. I feel kind of dizzy. I feel like I can't quite function. I've been sleeping a lot, and then take the lead. Okay, so this sort of seems to be the crowning energy. Crowning, that's interesting because I'm feeling a lot of like crown chakra, upper chakra activation, because I feel like I have cotton in my head, you know, like I have cotton in my head, and yeah, just like altered, otherworldly, you know, this is always how I feel when there's, you know, then somebody will come along and be like, crown chakra activations or upper, and I'm like, okay, so I've identified what that means by how it feels in my body, okay, and the fact that this is going on for so long, it's like a really big one. So we're receiving a lot of upgrade, and even if you're not feeling it viscerally, like not everybody feels things in their bodies, and not everybody is, you know, consciously aware of what's going on. I happen to be configured in a way that I can read the collective energies, and part of how I do that is I feel and experience things very, very viscerally, you know, and get a lot of like intel. So anyway, but yeah, so just kind of like taking the lead of our lives. So, but what I was going to say is that everybody is having these activations, even to whatever degree you are, to whatever degree you're coming to the front of your life. You're coming more to the front of your life, more to the front of your soul, being led by your soul. Okay, having the soul take the lead, because there are these activations and this stripping of what was leading. Okay, so let me get some cards. That was kind of a lot. Just those 3 cards had a long, okay, 4 minutes. So let's see what the cards want to say. All right, so just one came out. The King of Water. Yeah, okay, so that's validating, because I was kind of wondering why I was interpreting this as uniting with your soul. But the King of Water is a card of emotional mastery, but the water is also the psychic realm, the emotional, but also energetic realm. So he's a master of the energetic realm. It's the realm of the soul. So this really goes with what I was just saying, that validates, because I was pausing like, that's interesting. But again, just trusting what comes through. But so, you know, really having our again, that alignment, that mastery, that leaning into the intuitive aspects of ourselves, because again, in this new terrain, this keeps coming up, this new terrain that we're leaping into, the evolution evolution of humanity is soul led, because that is the God fractal. When we lean into our intuition and allow it to lead us, That's probably why I said that. Take the lead. What leads? The soul leads. Without the soul, there's no leading. There's just regurgitation of conditioning, regurgitation of what everybody else is doing, the status quo. The only way to truly be at the helm of your life and to truly lead yourself and to lead your aspect of all that is through life, to represent that which only you can represent in your life, is to allow your soul to lead. Allow your soul to lead, to allow that inner masculine energy in you to lean into the intuition, to take action on that and only that, to be united, your polarities united. I think I'm going to sneeze. And allowing the soul to lead. So that's so beautiful. I love that that was validated. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Wants to say one more card. It's like it feels very deliberate. The Queen of Swords. Okay, there she is. So she has very clear boundaries, but she also does not mince words. She speaks her truth and she speaks it clearly, so she's almost like the translator of this, this soul, this information that she's getting, this information, the polarities are switching, but the information that she's getting from her soul, she communicates it clearly. She communicates it decisively. She doesn't water it down. She doesn't try to make it fit in. She just receives the guidance and she delivers it. She's a really clear communicator, and she's not afraid to set boundaries. She's setting boundaries on the past. She's setting boundaries on, anything that doesn't honor her own unique, version of, again, all that is, her unique spark of the God spark, her version of reality that only she can bring forward. She's adamant. She sets boundaries against anything that distracts her, deters her, or I was going to say makes her feel small. It's not the right word, but it is, right? Any lower frequency energy that she used to shrink herself for. She's no longer doing that. She's having boundaries on all the patterns of the past, the conditioning where she wasn't enough, where she wasn't allowed to be herself, where she wasn't allowed to take the lead. She wasn't allowed to be led from her soul. She wasn't allowed to be led from her soul. And again, throughout a lot of our lifetime, and certainly our lifetimes, it wasn't safe to, we were burned or institutionalized or, decapitated or whatever. And so like the soul has had to go underground. It's had to go underground. But again, things are speeding up. Life is speeding up. Evolution is speeding up. We're coming into that golden age energy. We're coming into the shift of the ages where it's time to be soul led. If we're going to make it through the shift, we have to be soul led. The mind doesn't know anymore. The conditioning can't lead us anymore. The old ways are falling apart. We're leaping. As we leap, they crumble. They're crumbling, like me with the memories. It's like just allowing it all to go, like castles in the sand, and just, kind of grieving for it, because we thought all that was real. We lived all that. We experienced all that, but it's time now. It's time to take that leap. These are the cutting edge energies. Everybody will move through this in their own perfect divine timing, from their own soul plan, and in their own ways. But this is the trajectory, and a lot of what the energy is right now. It's a quickening, and it's moving us forward. It's moving us forward into this soul-based life, and a lot of that, again, this last card that came out, just reiterating the boundaries on what's on the other side of this leap. It's no longer relevant. Okay, let's see what else wants to be said. We have a full moon coming up on Thursday, so I'm filming this on Monday the 22nd, in New Mexico time at least. And so so the full moon in Leo, which is very, very, very much about shining your light, shining your unique version of yourself, the opposite of Aquarius, on the same axis of Aquarius, which is also about sharing your unique version. But Leo, really not being afraid to shine, but also, bumping up against the insecurities and the things, like I was saying here, the things that made you feel that you couldn't, and releasing those. And again, it's just kind of coming through us. It's part of that speeding up. These things are just kind of falling away and rushing through us, like emotions, again, the emotions. And so being masterful with our emotions as well, just allowing the tears to come, just not getting caught up on any stories, just allowing it to move like the energy that it is to clear us through. So, okay, we get 4 cards. we get the Five of Swords and the Lovers, the Five of Pentacles. So here's two fives. That's change, big change. Okay, but these are cards of lack. So this is what I was just saying. Okay, here's the new. Here's what we're jumping into. Here's unity consciousness. Here's the Hermit. This is the soul. This is the deepest part of ourselves. This is going deep, deep, deep within. Well, also deep, deep, deep within ourselves are these things that we were just talking about, that we're setting boundaries with, that we're allowing to release and to leave. Yeah, I don't think there's any room for you, kitty. The Five of Swords is a card of fearing that you're going to hurt or be hurt, feeling that you have to be in control and protect yourself from, from something that's going to hurt you. Look at her. She's, and you're not afraid to play dirty, and you want to just make sure you come out on top. This is a card of not having, you can't have, you never will have. So this is just the separation consciousness where, nothing ever works out. And when you're in that consciousness, that is how life is. You do have one karmic trial after another, and you have loss, and you have all these things to crack you open to your soul, to crack you open to that inner alchemy that needs to happen, to transmute these energies into the unified field where everything collapses back into soul. So again, that's where the soul leads. Everything collapses back into soul. We struggle enough. We struggle and we struggle and we struggle until we hurt so much that we look for another way. We start turning within. We start turning within for different answers, because the answers of the world are no longer serving us. We play the game, we jump through all the hoops, we do everything we're supposed to do, and nothing works. And it goes on and on and on and on and on for humanity, for in our individual lives, until we reach this point, which is where we're at now in humanity, where we're going within and we're finding different answers. Okay, but where are we finding these answers from? We're finding them from our soul. Again, we're finding them from our soul. The days of looking outside of ourselves for what to do and who to be is over. Okay, so Leo full moon, time to shine. We're not looking, we're not looking outside, because again, it's like for all that is to be all that is, all of us have to play our part, and we can't play our part if we're not looking within to the guidance from within, to our own soul spark, our own wisdom, our own inspiration. We can't look without anymore, because all we're going to find and create is this. Because when we look without, we separate from ourselves. We go into separation consciousness. We start to think that things are random, that we don't have this eternal wellspring within us that constantly guides us and directs us, that we're constantly protected. So to lean into, again, that leap of faith, to know that the truth of reality is unity, the truth of reality is oneness, and we are a part of that oneness. And when we link up, when we allow our souls to take the lead, we're always guided, we always know what to do. So again, this is an air card, which is the mind, but she has mastery over her mind. She knows this is like Athena, with the owl. She has wisdom. She knows what to give her attention to. She knows how to work her mind, her higher mind. Her mind is a servant. It's not the master. She's a master at using her mind as a servant to the soul, to the higher intel. Okay, so yeah, the messages are pretty clear. Okay, so I'm going to do an oracle card. I bought a new oracle deck, but it hasn't come yet. It's called the Queen of the Moon Oracle, which I just love the name, which is really great images and simple one-word things. So anyway, it's not here yet. I'll use it next week, but I'm going to use the Secret Language of Light Oracle. All right. What do we get? Ask your soul. Exactly. Ask your soul. 16 cards. 7. Ask your soul. That's right. That's right. And it's like one of the things when I was trying to train myself to do this, because I was, I would go into fear, and then my mind would be like, okay, well, what do I need to do? And let me plan it with my mind. And I got to this point where I was like, I trust that I'm always guided. I always have exactly what I need, and I'm always guided to exactly what I need to do. And if there is no guidance, then I do nothing, or I continue doing what I was doing. I only act off of guidance, not out of fear and not out of my calculating mind. If it's my higher mind coming in service to my soul, fine, that's different. That's inspiration. That's electric, that's electric inspiration, higher mind energy that's connected to all that is. But if it's this separate, fear-based, going along the corridors we've been allowed to go on, and you can't see on the other side of the door, but you can't see through the walls because all you can see is what's right in front of you. Like how is that? how is that informative when your soul can see everything? Your soul can see through the walls. The soul can see. It's like how I was feeling with all these different levels going on. It's like my soul is active right now. She's in all different places, and she's bringing in all this information. Even though I kind of feel kind of fuzzy, I was gonna say fuzzy and dizzy and non-functional to some degrees in this realm. I was going to shop on my way home today, but I was like, no, we'll do that tomorrow, because I really feel that tomorrow it's going to shift for me. But just honoring the processes, honoring those times when you're taken offline, where you have to just sleep 11 hours a night, where you just lay in bed. I laid in bed till like 9:30 this morning. I just didn't want to get up, so I didn't get up, because I know that honoring, again, it's like honoring this process. This is a process of the soul that I'm going through. It's an activation in my upper chakras. It's a soul activation, and to honor that, and to not judge it, to not judge it as wrong, or feel something's wrong, or feel like I have to like micromanage something to get myself out of this space. Just like really, really honoring it and allowing whatever that process is to, trusting in the mastery of my soul, trusting it, that everything's being taken care of, and just being in the moment and listening and honoring. Okay, so it's really funny that came up. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do another oracle card, the Angels of Atlantis. Only 16 minutes. Sometimes time is slow today. Yeah, time is slow. Sometimes it's really fast. Forgiveness. Okay, yes. Forgiving ourselves, because that's another thing that's coming up for me, is I'm like, oh my gosh, just as these things are kind of like running through my mind, almost like a past life review or a life review when you're dying, because you are dying. You're jumping into a whole new way of living, and you're dying to separation consciousness. You're dying to the ego games. You're dying to the society. You're dying to the false program. And so, there are a lot of ways that we abandoned ourselves in that, and a lot of ways that, we told ourselves, what was the card for that? I think it was this one that I was using. Yeah, where she has boundaries against all the ways that we told ourselves we were small. We told ourselves we were wrong. And, I've been feeling this, like, I haven't felt it in a long time, but I've been remembering the shame that I used to feel, like the shame of just existing, or like, I was out of town, I was out in the desert with just the clouds, and like, oh my God, the sky and the clouds. And I just felt like the clouds and I were like one being, like we were both really dramatic and like big and dark and light, and, like all over the place in all these different forms. And just all weekend long, it was just like me and the clouds. And I drove back into town, and, and I saw the shop and, the thrift store, and it had like all little outfits in the front with all the like red and white. And I just remembered, and I was remembering this too, how when I was in high school or junior high or whatever, or even as a kid, I always just had a lot of like natural ecstatic energy. I just always had ecstatic energy, which is like really happy and creative and connected. And when I'd be by myself, I'd just be like, just like, and I'm still like that, I just get into stuff and I get excited, and then I'd go to school and I'd have to like, and I felt like that was the fantasy. Like that was the fantasy, and that wasn't real, and the shrunken world was what was real, and I had to figure out how to fit into it. So as I was driving into town, I was remembering that in the past too, because, I've been here 15 years, but just kind of feeling like I'd be in my house and it'd be like the magical world of Wendy, and then I go downtown and it's like I just get depressed because it would be like, where is that? I can't find that. And I would just shrink, and I don't do that anymore. I just carry that with me wherever I go. But it was reminding me of, just like how much of my life I lived that way. And I felt so devastated, like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that it took me so long. And yet, of course, I have compassion for myself, and, awakening and evolution is a process, and it's all divinely timed anyway. And, we need to have our crunches, and, life is like this for a while until we crack. And, I honor it all. But there is, I'm giving these examples just because there is that forgiveness, that self-forgiveness, and forgiveness of others too. Like there might be some people, in your life that are still kind of stuck in this energy that might be, just not able to receive you in your fullness, just like I couldn't receive myself in my fullness, and the world then couldn't receive me in my fullness. But forgiving it all, forgiving the world, forgiving, the people in your life that are still stuck in this energy, like having compassion for that consciousness. And again, that example of like allowing your shine. Again, that, oh, look at the yellow. Always love the matching colors. The yellow, the power, allowing your power, your Leo solar energy, the yellow to shine. It's like that's the remedy in a sense for all the times that we shrunk, allowing ourselves to shine, and knowing that we can't save others from this, but we can live in our truth, and we can live in our Leo shine and in our authenticity, and we can set an example of that just by confidently doing it. Like little Wendy, cartwheels on the beach. I used to travel by back bends and cartwheels, and I was just happy. I was with God. I was just, life was amazing. I was a fairy. I was, and yeah, and then I just after a while started feeling that was wrong, and shrunk myself down. But yeah, just bringing our spark, our natural authentic spark back to the world in service, in service, and just changing the vibration of this planet by having more energy on this planet be of that higher vibrational, self-aligned, soul-oriented energy. We bring more soul to the planet. We bring more soul into the ethers, and it spreads and it catches behind the scenes. People feel it from us, but they also just feel it. There's more of it in the collective. It makes it easier for other people. So I love the yellow. I love all the yellow, and I love thinking about little fairy Wendy happy on the beach. All right, so let's see, what do we get? 8 of Cups. Okay, so yeah, this is a card of walking away, leaving it all behind. It's like there's a lot of emotion with the 8 of Cups. In the first deck I ever had, the mother piece, it was an octopus, and so there were like these 8 different arms. So it kind of reminds me of what I was talking about, just being in all these different places at once, and it can be a little overwhelming because you're like, okay, I have grief, I have excitement, I have, forgiveness, I have shine, I have excitement, I have activation going on. We have all these things at once, and you can just kind of feel like you're, like I said, like just not being very functional right now, like you're just kind of drowning in this. But again, honoring this process, because we really are, we're doing this deep, it feels like another deep cellular purge. The last one I felt, I went back and I looked, it was right at the end of November. It was right at the end of November, the beginning of December, I guess it was December 1st, the very end of November. Anyway, and it felt more, it kind of in some ways felt more like this, like more of like an emotional kind of clearing, where it was just like everything was up, like the snake about to shed its skin, where you just want to tear your skin off. But this one kind of feels like that too, but it also feels a bit more psychic, more like in the more, and again with this reading, with so much coming up with the soul, even that intuition that I had around this card, like let the soul read, and then the validation of that, right? And so the soul is kind of being like almost like multi-dimensional, where there's all these different things that we're doing at once. We're clearing past lives, we're clearing way back. Throughout, I had a session the other day, and it was really beautiful. Oh God, both of them actually. I had 2 last week. Well, were they in the same day? No, they were in the same week. Anyway, they were similar in that there were really, really deep patterns of survival that were, especially in the first one, patterns of survival, this kind of stuff, keeping yourself safe, doing what you need to do because, you're lacking, or you don't have enough, so you have to go through this, or your dark characters that, crunch you, all this. Okay. So, but a lot of that, but this deep, and I felt, in both of them, just this leaping energy, this jumping into this whole new way of existing, where what I felt was there was going to be this whole other level. Okay, well, this ties in the crown chakra activation, actually, because it happened, right, started happening for me Thursday night. So I had one session Tuesday, one session Thursday, and then a reading as well that day, which was similar. Okay, so I'm just putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. I haven't had much time to reflect because I've been so in this energy where it's like there's so much going on at once. I can't find clarity, and I'm not meant to find clarity. I'm just meant to sleep and be, and rest, and kind of like be in this realm where the soul is like seeing between the walls and the doors and connecting the pathways and just doing everything with all 8 octopus arms, and clearing so much, like a cyber blast all at once, just being really taken offline. But again, noticing the patterns in that reading and those 2 sessions where there was this feeling, and it's funny because one of the sessions there was this emerald green stone that was like above her in sort of and it was showing in this a certain way, but it had the energy of like, again, this leap into the new energy, where the new energy, everything that she had attained and done, you know, on her own through her trials and the things that happened for her the week before that had really kicked up stuff for her before the session had created the shift for her. It had leaped her into this new energy, and there were almost like these white structures that were showing like it's secured, it's anchored, like it's happened, it is done, it is protected, it is guided. Okay, and so yeah, so a lot there, a lot there that I just said. And again, I'm not tracking well, I'm not tracking the patterns, but maybe you're making sense of everything that I threw out there. Maybe you can see the patterns there because I kind of just lost it. But yeah, just this movement, I was feeling that this movement into the new, that's what it was, this movement into the new. And the message coming through that it's been secured. We've done enough work. We've done enough of this. That we're shifting, we're being carried, and that was the energy of this. The souls are carrying us through on all these different levels and clearing what needs to be cleared, activating what needs to be activated. And again, nothing is done for us. It's just like with the sessions, like people will come in and they'll have, you know, whatever was going on and all the deep work that they did. And then often people will call like when they're in the middle of a trial and like I won't be able to see them, or they'll have to like cancel and like reschedule later. And then by the time they come, they're on the other side of it. And it's like, right, because the sessions are a reflection of the work that you're doing with your higher self. And it's really about anchoring and integrating and having a witness for your own power. Like nobody's here to save you, you know. And like I'm not gonna save you from your alchemy. You're gonna complete your alchemy, and then all your guides are gonna come in, you know, like cheering, not even cheering you on because you already did it, because that's what the one session was. It was just like this grand celebration of how amazing she was doing. Yeah, and then just integrating and rebalancing and clearing. And so, you know, this energy, again, the rebalancing, the integrating, the clearing, the activating, the downloading, but it's all a reflection of everything that we've done in this energy as we've climbed our way towards our, you know, our inner terrain, where we've turned to look within ourselves, activating that soul, looking to our soul, allowing it to lead. And you know, and leaping, but it's not like a leap where it's like, oh, I'm consciously going to leap. I mean, there are conscious choices that we make all along the way, but it's almost like it's, you know, it's just this movement. It's this movement that we're doing, and it's happening on many levels, and it's absolutely supported by all aspects of ourselves. Again, our souls see beyond, they see through the walls, and they're guiding us and they're directing us. They're not doing it for us. We're doing this, you know, we're doing this work. We are. And we're allowing ourselves to be broken down, and we're feeling our feelings, and we're, you know, feeling the strange things in our body if it translates that way. And, you know, we're going through all this. We're honoring it the best that we can, but our souls are at the helm. Okay, so I'm at 28 minutes. I think I might actually just wrap up this reading. I think I've used all the cards except for one. I didn't do the goddess deck, so let me pull a goddess card in closing. And we'll just leave it at that. Okay. One last card, or however many want to pop out. One last closing message. Just one. Illusion, Maya, 34/7. Do we have any other number things going on here? No, the numbers aren't really speaking to me today, actually, except for the 5s with the change. But illusion, yeah. And speaking of the 5s, that's this. You know, this is the illusion, and again, this goes with her. So final parting message again: see through the illusion of this. You know, we're victims of nothing. You know, the soul on the soul level. Which is what we're leaning into. Everything is connected. Everything is unified. Again, the lovers, unity consciousness, our two polarities turning towards each other, working together in unison, letting the soul lead, because the soul can see everything. The mind cannot. The soul can see everything. And so we know that we're guided. And if we can just lean into this and allow it to carry us through, we are going to land exactly where we need to, and just to not fall through the illusion that the mind needs to control, and that we're not safe unless we're micromanaging with our minds, right? So another beautiful soul message. There's been a lot of those coming through, but it really is the way. It really is the way to anchor in and to move through and to be guided through this ascension, through this awakening, through this shift for humanity. The soul leads, and things are speeding up. Things are speeding up, so we have to let go. So that's what this is as well. You know, this is a card of letting go. It's allowing the past to release, allowing it all to fall away, and just surrendering to whatever it is, and trusting. So that being the final message. And I kind of want to just keep pulling, but I think I am going to end there. So thank you for listening, and yeah, and I will, I'll see you next time if I do. Okay, be well, because these are intense times, and yeah, and we're doing it. We're doing it, even if it feels like this. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe it feels really good to you, and that's wonderful too, because, you know, also, you know, throughout all of us, in some ways, we're all holding a different cup. You know, some people are doing them all at once, or they're doing a few at once, and some people are really holding this space, and some people are holding this space. But again, we're all doing this together. We're all fractals of the oneness that we are. So, you know, it's a group effort. However, it's playing out for you, but yeah, just the message that's really come through, that there are big moves going on. There are big moves, and things are speeding up for all of us. So okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.